my God, man. That's awesome. Hey, should we post in January? I think you have your answer. Okay.
I think just me in general, like I think I posted worse, but still have gotten better results than that.
I agree. Okay.
Damn it. Make me scoot over.
We're live on the gram.
Mm.
Okay.
Just waiting for a couple more people to join.
Hey, y'all. Waiting for people to hop on.
Hi, guys.
That's more realistic.
I just got to be taller than you on the screen.
Good luck, man.
That's all that matters. So,
Okay.
but just kind of started off, what did you think of the inauguration?
The inauguration?
Yes.
Man, so Lauren kind of had Fox News playing in the living room, but there was like no volume. So I walked in at like the perfect time when like he started his speech.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. And he basically just went on for 30 minutes, like smashing nice one-liners. Like, we're going to do this. Like waiting for applause. Like, we're going to do this. And then everything he said was awesome. When he said, we're going to go to Mars, I was like, let's go back to taxes. Nobody cares about that. Keep moving.
Did you see Elon in the background, though? He's like...
Did you see Elon's speech where he's like, this is awesome? He just starts screaming.
No, after they walked out of the main room, I didn't really watch much after that, like the after presentations. Yeah, but no, I mean, I thought it was good. But what was the deal with the Panama thing? Like what? Canal? Yeah, what does that consist of? Right, like taking it back.
I mean, I'm not a historian, but the canal's like in between North and South America, and I guess we built it for them for trade and like to be able to use it, and I guess China controls it now.
China.
Feather Time says it's muted for him. Is it muted for anyone else? Can Secondhand Archery, can you hear us? What's up? We said, what's up, man? How's it going? I don't know if it's muted for anyone else. You can hear me. I can hear me.
Maybe we're just, Secondhand said he can.
He can hear us?
Yep.
Okay. Well, yes, I can. Okay, cool. Yeah, the canal thing was interesting. I thought the biggest flex was he was like, the Gulf of America. That was awesome.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. I felt like an American watching that. I think that's the first one I've ever watched, but
yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Good stuff. But on the same vein of being an American, I got a little game for you.
Mm-hmm.
So sure. I thought this would be fun to do.
Okay.
So these are, so my cousin Caleb, he posted on Facebook and he was like, "Hey, all y'all better stay off the roads this evening. There's going to be too much ice, on the roads. So be aware, talking about deportation and stuff."
Yes.
Just have to talk you through it. But that got me thinking about the citizenship tests. And, we've seen all those videos float around of people asking just random people off the street questions about citizenship.
Yeah, Americans.
And today, I want to ask you 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a list of 10 right here.
Okay.
Are you ready? Are you
hope
prepared?
I earned my citizenship. Yes, I'm ready.
So a citizenship, or at least what I've read on it, it's a verbal thing. So it's not multiple choice. I'm just going to ask you it, and then off the top of your brain, I know you're trying to chat GPT it right now, so you can't do that either.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
Are you sure? You swear you're not cheating right now?
I was pulling up Instagram.
Okay.
Go ahead, though.
You at least have to get, I think, a 7 out of 10 to pass. So
okay,
your odds are with you a little bit. What harbor is the Statue of Liberty located?
I have no idea.
Okay, I'll make it easier. What
I know
state?
It's in New York. Yeah, it's in New York.
So you don't know the harbor?
Dude, I don't care.
New York. It's New York Harbor. So you basically got half of it right.
Okay, cool.
What is the supreme law of the land?
Supreme law of the land?
Yep. What is the supreme law of the land?
Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Next question. Like
Next question. It's the Constitution. Okay. What are the two parts of the U.S. Congress?
The Senate and the House of Representatives.
Okay. Yes.
Next question.
What is the name of the national anthem? All right, this is a gimme.
The national anthem.
Yeah, no. What is the name of the national anthem? Damn it.
I don't know. What's it called?
Star Spangled Banner.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. Nice.
I'm a terrible American.
You're about to get deported, son. Okay. If both presidents, both the president and the vice president can no longer serve, who becomes president?
I think it's the Secretary of State. Is that right?
No.
Who is it? Speaker of the House?
Speaker of the House.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
What are 3 of the 13 original colonies?
3?
Yep.
Massachusetts, New Hampshire,
yeah.
and Rhode Island,
more.
Vermont. I'll just keep hitting them all.
Okay. Overachiever. Number 7. When was the when was the damn thing adopted?
1776.
All right. You know what day?
July 4th.
Nice. What major event took place December 7th, 1941 that led to the U.S. to enter the World War II?
Bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Nice. Number 9. What do we call the first amendments to the Constitution?
It's the Bill of Rights.
You're cheating. You're cheating.
I'm
I see you looking over to the side. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence?
John Hancock.
No.
I don't know.
Thomas Jefferson.
There we go. Okay, cool. Sweet. So I'm half a citizen.
Well,
not bad.
I think you would have failed it.
I probably would have. I don't like to fill in the blank. Yeah, there we go. That's funny. Well, I hope everybody's happy to have their country back. And if you don't feel that way, it's probably not the right probably the wrong industry to be watching podcasts in as a whole. I saw Josh Bomar and them came out with literally a set of broadheads for Trump.
Oh, really?
Pretty cool. Yeah, like some red, white, and blue broadheads. So
yeah,
that's pretty neat. So hunting season's officially over. How are you feeling, my friend?
It's good. I started off 2025 pretty dang hot. Went out January 5th, 6th, maybe something like that. Tried to shoot a doe. It was at 20 yards. Sailed it right over its back, and I was like, And I was kind of checking some things and seeing my sight tape was on 58. So starting off the new year pretty strong, So got my first miss out of the way. So October should be breeze.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
I haven't been hunting this year, I don't think so. It's all good for me. Can't fail when you're not at the table.
Yeah, well, Zach said, "Evening, gents. Smells like freedom in here. Absolutely. If I could smell, that would be freedom."
Fun fact for you guys: Jake cannot smell, so he cannot identify with what you just said, but he appreciates the sentiment.
Yep. Secondhand archery said, "Speaker of the House, freedoms of speech." Oh, he's probably talking about the Bill of Rights.
What's funny is I'm glad no one is watching this from another country. They'd be like, these guys don't even deserve to be citizens.
Yeah, we don't. Zach said, "Dang, I got a few, but I don't think enough to pass."
Me either.
Oh, God, I don't know if I want to read this one. Here, I'll let you take this.
Thank you. Secondhand archery said, "What's an illegal immigrant's least favorite song?" I'm gonna say
I know it. I think I know it.
Go ahead.
I want to say Ice Ice Baby.
That's pretty good.
It has to be.
I was gonna say Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. I think that's by Led Zeppelin. Ice Ice Baby, yes sir. Oh, he got it. There you go. That's funny. Oh man. We got some people on Instagram. Hopefully for Feather and Tines it got fixed, the muting thing. But Jordan W2X said it's going to be a strong arm for trade, just like the Gulf of Mexico that doesn't allow oil drilling because it's the Gulf. But if it's the Gulf of America, ... There you go. I love when he in his speech he goes, "Drill, baby, drill, that liquid gold."
And it is. What was I know this is horrible to ask you, but what was the purpose behind to not drill here? Because if we buy it from other countries, so it's just like,
To a virtue
well,
signal.
what are we doing?
It's a virtue signal about the Green New Deal.
Mm.
Yeah, it's for clean energy. And have you ever watched Landman on Apple TV? Okay. I hadn't watched it either, but Lauren and I like literally binged it this whole weekend. There's like 10 episodes. It's about like the oil boom in West Texas. And like he goes through some of the stuff about like windmills and solar, and like he's like, yeah, but it takes all these cranes and all this oil and all this energy to come out here and put them up and to maintain them and to build them. He's like, in their 20-year lifespan, they don't even offset the carbon footprint that it takes to build them. And you think about it like that, and you're like, okay. So it's just, I think that you saw one of Trump's first things he did today was he's like, I abolished the Green New Deal. Like, all the clean energy stuff.
I heard that. Yeah. And then what was the thing about the electric cars?
I didn't see that part. I didn't see that part.
Well, there was something, and I haven't read anything on it, but I'm just like spitballing here. Wasn't there some sort of like date or year picked out where like all
that was
companies...
California.
Okay, that was just California. Well, I figured.
Yeah, they were trying to like get rid of carbon or gas powered cars by like 2030 or 2035 or something like that.
All right. Well, I want them to still stay on par, because with all the events happening, I still want every single car to run off electricity there, even though they don't have any.
Keep the same. Yeah, even though they don't have any.
Yeah.
Keep the same energy. That's funny. Oh man. I'm gonna drop this comment right here for folks. That should drop that in the chat. We got a lot of people jumping in on Instagram. Nobody's saying anything though. You guys got something you want to talk about that's not the inauguration?
Yeah, we're running out of ammo here. We'll be honest.
Make sure to drop it in the comments here. This one's for us, but it's also for you guys. What do you guys? Oh, here we go. I saw that.
Oh, gotcha. Zach said, if Trump was a hunter, what brands would he be repping, and would he be a bow hunter or a gun hunter?
What do you think?
I think he'd be a trad hunter. You know, one stick method, 30 foot up. He'd probably fletch his homemade arrows. So that's how I picture him. But what do you think?
I don't think so. I view it. No, I view that like completely the opposite, because he's like a pretty braggadocious dude. You know, I think he really means what he says, but he is very like, he doesn't have a ton of humility on the stuff that he like has accomplished. And I think he'd be like, I want to shoot the biggest deer, the biggest possible. And I think he would go pay to shoot like a giant high fence deer, like a 500-inch deer. That's how I envision him.
Well, his sons hunt. So yeah. I would think it would kind of be like the same kind of ordeal, same vibe.
Well, his son, Don Jr., actually runs I think it's called Field Ethos. It's like a magazine, like an outdoor magazine. And he's like an actual hunter. I think Eric is too. I think I listened on Theo Vaughn's show that he said Eric was like a long range shooter. Like he really liked like long range ballistics and stuff, which is, I don't know. That's kind of interesting. That's not my cup of tea, but it's super cool. Well, so what,
they also got to pay the Pittman Robinson, taxes. So it helps everybody.
There you go. So what's your off season plans now that you had the off season for 5 days? Is there anything you want to do?
Man, I don't know. Like,
you ready to shed hunt? I bet you're not ready to even go outside right now.
No. I mean, it's kind of warmed up. It's 22. It's been like 10 degrees all day. But I don't know. Like, I'm ready for shed season to get here, but I don't think they're really dropping it, because over there by the lake and stuff, they're still holding on pretty strong. So that's kind of out of the mind. I do want to go catch a paddlefish, old spoonbill, and other than that, I mean, I don't really know. It just ended, so I'm just still trying to take a step back right now.
Yeah.
And, be at home. But what about you?
I don't know. My life's kind of
that's a tough question.
My life's kind of in complete shambles right now from an outdoor perspective. Like, with the baby coming around Valentine's Day now and stuff, I'm like, I can't even consider what's going to happen in the next 2 months. I'm just trying to get through that part. But I do want to do some shed hunting this year really bad. Like, I really do. But traveling to do it, I don't know how much of that's going to happen. I shed hunted a
Sorry.
decent amount. Oh, go ahead. No, you're good.
I was just gonna say, in the same vein of shed hunting, Benjamin S. When do you guys start shed hunting?
I usually start the earliest, like in February for me, and typically the second half of February. I know you can see, at least I start seeing dudes in the Midwest like right now picking up sheds. But I don't know. Last year it was nuts. I was shed hunting in mid-March. And we had was it last year we had a really, really mild winter? I'm pretty sure it was pretty
We've
mild.
had a mild winter for like the last 3.
Yeah, but in 22 we had some like
we had
flurries,
that
at
ice
least.
storm.
Yeah, at least a few storms. But we had a really mild winter, especially I say mild winter in Central Texas. It's always mild. Like it's 30 degrees here right now, and everyone's like, "Oh, they literally canceled like school." It's not. No, I'm not kidding. It's not even snowing or anything. So I walked up in a group of deer last year, in mid-March, and there was like 60 deer in this wad, like literally 60 in there. And I think there was like there was definitely over 10, but I want to say more than like 15 bucks in there as well. And out of all those bucks, every single one of them had both sides. And this is in mid-March. And so you're kind of fighting the green up, like you get that March first nice sunshine, and here comes all that grass. And I felt like a lot of the deer last year didn't even drop until it was way greened up, and like good luck finding the sheds when it's 10, 12 inches tall. So I found one freshie all last year, and I think I found like 15 sheds last year. So I like to start in February if it's not too cold, when it usually is pretty nice down here, but I don't feel like they drop down here till heck mid to late March for the most part.
What's your take on so I want like a good set of like rattling antlers, and I feel like I would have a good set if I shed hunted or was able to find sheds when I went shed hunting.
Yeah.
But like I have a problem with, if I find a good one, I'm like, you're on the shelf. Like I'm not going to lose you. I'm not going to break your tines off. I'm not going to chip you up just because I can't find sheds very well. I don't know if it's just the eyes for it or what it may be, but that is one thing that I do want to, like, I guess a checklist item for the summers. I want to go find like a good set of rattling antlers from sheds. I think that'd be pretty cool.
A match set?
Yeah. Or it doesn't even have to be a match set. I don't care if it's like 2 different deer, but I mean, one that I don't really care about, and I can just cut the eye guards off and like use, because anything that I shoot or whatever, I'm just like, I can't really make those under rattling antlers.
So you're talking probably something in that like 90 to 110 inch range.
Yeah, probably
something like,
because anything bigger is like, all right, you're going on the shelf. You're going in the pile.
Well, I have that set that I found at Jesse Bloomer's a few years back, and it was off that buck that I shot, and I backstrapped him, and I found the match set, which was awesome. I took those to Kansas with Carol, and I rattled with them, and I broke 2 tines.
Yeah.
Like, I hit them together real hard, and I know why I broke the tines. Like, it literally smelled like smoke from the friction. But I broke, like, the tip of the beam just off a little bit, like, shaved a piece, and then I broke the tip of, like, the G2 and shaved a piece. And I was like, I'm never using these again. Because, like, those are off of, well, they're off of a buck that I literally shot. And I was like, I don't know why I'm using these. And they're like a low 130s match set. I'm like, I can find some dinks to like do this with. I don't know why. Now, the Midwest guys are probably like, a 130 set. That is a dink set. But like for me, that's the biggest match set I've ever found. Have you ever found a really big shed? Some chewed up ones, right?
Well, I found this one. Oops.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Probably my biggest shed, and then it's in the living room. But then I found like that elk shed down there, and then that was it. Those are probably my 2 biggest.
Yeah,
that elk shed was pretty unique. I thought, like Oklahoma elk, shoot.
Some people go crazy for the sheds, dude. I have liked it more and more the more I've done it. But I want to find a big set. Like for me, there's a motivation of like, even if I could find one big side, like Landon, when I went to his place and was podcasting, he has a one that he found off an Oklahoma buck, and it's like I want to say it's close to an 80-inch shed.
Really?
And it literally, you pick it up and it's like, weighty. And I'm like, I want to find one like that. Yeah.
Did you ever watch that video of Steve Ranella, his like home tour?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, he had a paddle off of, I don't know what kind of animal it was, just like shoved into a piece of like driftwood right there by his front door. And like that's the kind of crap that I think is like awesome. It's just
Unique.
weirdly shaped antlers or paddles or whatever it is, just from like different places. And it's just like it's almost like a museum when you walk in. Now I'm sure like anybody that's listening's wives would think that would look disgusting, but like for me, I think that's like bad to the bone.
It's very abstract and like it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like it's supposed to be there, which makes you want it to put there even there like more.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a few of these. Zach said, Christian, you better get those honeydews done. Do you all have a name yet for this little fella? We have a couple names that we're looking at. My wife won't let me share, or she'll be in trouble. She has this idea that if I verbalize a name, that has to be his name, so she doesn't want me to say it out loud. So she claims that we're waiting until the baby comes to give him a name, but yeah, we do have a name. I'll send it to you on Instagram. I don't want to get in trouble.
Is it Jake?
No, it's Dave.
Dave.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's Dave.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Joey Kessinger.
There you go.
I think there's been some sheds found in West Central Illinois, but it's few and far between and way too early to be putting pressure on herds right now. Yeah. What do you think on that? Like, are their seasons still going right now or no?
I don't know about I know the Midwest goes pretty late. They have like some really late gun seasons because I've seen some deer killed in Iowa recently. Thomas Stamper, basement decorator, he killed a 172 in Texas yesterday.
I seen that. Yeah.
Like a freaking toad. And I'm
How
like,
come you didn't do that?
You give me some good access and I'll try. I was going to say I will, but I don't know if that's the case. No, but yeah, I would think a lot of those deer would be shed, and he's got one holding on. I'm always scared to shoot a big late season buck. Like you grab it and you're dragging it off and like both horns come off.
Who was that did that here recently? Jake Hofer, I think, did that with the buck he shot not too long ago, which I don't know if there was something wrong with it, but he shot, and I think when he drug it out, one of them popped off.
Never had that issue. We don't have a place to hunt late season. That's worth a crap. Ohio is still open until January. Yeah, I think Ohio goes like through January, dang near to February. Because Aaron Olson's hunting Kentucky right now, and it's his last day of season.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How's he doing out there?
Good from what he's been texting me. I think he's had one shot opportunity. He said he hit like a vine and it sailed over his back, and then I think he's been pretty in the game the whole time he's been there. It's just like, dude, that late he's been sleeping in his car for 10 days.
With it being like super cold? No, thank you.
It was like 3. I think he said it was 3 yesterday on his Instagram story, and he's been sleeping in his car.
Is Adrian with him?
No, he's by himself.
Oh, nice. Dang, he's a stud.
That would drive you insane.
Well,
I mean, car for that long alone?
Yeah, that would suck. That would suck. Better him than me. Joey mentioned Illinois ended yesterday, so he's probably worried about putting pressure on the herds just so they don't run to the neighbors and drop. Probably.
That's a good point. Maybe if it stays cold, we'll actually get a good shed season down here this year. We didn't really have. We went last year once. Once together?
Once.
And we found how many? I don't even think I don't know if I found one.
You found one dink. I found, I think, one little dink as well, and then I found a deadhead.
So we found 3.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't want to get 2. Don't want to.
And that was probably like 5 miles of walking, something like that.
Leave some for the rest of us. Gosh,
I know.
3 sheds.
Meanwhile, Jordan and Justin go down there, and it's like, yeah, we found 42. It's kind of a slow weekend. It's like, I bet.
Nice. Zach said, okay, so did y'all put in for New Mexico elk draw? We did not. Or I don't think it's over, but we have not. Why haven't we put in for the elk draw, Jake?
I don't know. Why haven't we, Christy?
I killed an elk. I'm good. I'm good.
It costs the money. And I think we got other plans too. So I think come August, we might be headed not abroad, but almost abroad. It's abroad for us,
Basically.
but to the last frontier to do some walking around. You want to tell them about that right now, or
Yeah.
as soon
We're
as we
gonna
say
go-
something, it's going to fall through. That's why I'm like kind of.
Well, we booked the float plane, so I hope it doesn't fall through.
Yeah, that's true.
No, we're going to Kodiak Island, Alaska for Sitka Blacktail on a float plane. So maybe arm wrestle a grizzly. Hasn't been a killing in 50 years out there. Don't want to be the next one. So yeah, we're doing that, and then we'll probably do some pronghorn hunting as well. So that's kind of a full fall from a Western perspective as two men that are not single. If I was
And
single,
also,
5 states.
yeah, which if you mix that with getting 6 deer down in Oklahoma, it's like that's a pretty good task just in itself. So
Yeah.
And if by some miraculous chance that we have the season of seasons and it's like, okay, we go kill a blacktail, we go kill a pronghorn, and then we ended up killing 2 bucks and our share of does, then it's like we can jump over to maybe Missouri or Arkansas with cheap over the counter tags. But that would be a season if we just did that successfully.
If anybody in here watching has a ton of very cheap trail cameras that they want to sell me for public land hanging, that's going to be my objective this summer. Is I'm going to run lots of trail cameras and I'm going to find a big one to chase. That's my goal.
So
Jake's digging through his pot of gold.
I did something the other day. I was like, listen, I'm going to go through, I'm going to clear them all. I got them all just for everybody knowing all the SDs. So because every single time we go set out trail cameras, we're like, where's the SD cards? I got like 30 some in there, so I think we're fine.
So you've had them this whole time. You got all our SDs. Yeah, I only have like 5.
I had to go pull the dang cameras.
Well, you're hunting that area. That's your reward.
Well,
there wasn't a deer, but there was some nice nice SDs.
Yeah. How many do we have right now?
I don't know. I bought 4 more. Not recently, but I bought those 4 little muddies. So I think I had like 7 or 8, including the 4 that I like bought. So not many. There's some like in the pines, like just. I hope they come back.
Well, I know there's still one right there by the camp. You know how I turn left to go hunting? There's just right there off the side of the road to the right.
Oh, nice. There you go. I got a few down there as well that I still have.
Secondhand archery. Y'all got to invest into some black gauge trail cameras.
Black gate.
Black gate trail cameers. Yeah, okay, what are those?
I've heard good things. I don't know if they have if they're just cell cams or regular SD cameras, but the guys from Adrenaline Seek Outdoors down in Southern Oklahoma, I always see them posting about Blackgate, and then people from the Chasing Giants podcast, I know they run some Blackgate. So I've heard good things. I buy what is cheap when I want extra cameras. So they're just cell cameras. Yeah, those are nice, but we really need more public land cheap cameras.
Yeah,
that's what we need
SD
more
cams.
of. Yeah.
Now, I know we knock a lot of Chinese stuff, but you did have a Chinese camera that worked fairly well, and it got yoinked over the summer.
They sent me a person sent me an email and said, "Do you want to review this $48 camera and it does 4K video and pictures?" I was like, "Sure." And they sent it to me, and I put it on that water hole, and I was like, "This is actually a decent camera."
Mm-hmm.
Now they probably knocked off every American manufacturer in the world to make it, but it's really nice. It was a nice camera.
It told you hello and goodbye whenever you shut it off. So
in Chinese, yeah. Cody Idle said, "Evening, gentlemen. What's up, man? Thanks for jumping on." And Lance C. Brown said, "I'm looking at my first mule deer tag this year. Thoughts on Nebraska mule deer?" You got some
Nebraska
thoughts for
mule deer? I mean, shoot long, don't miss. I don't know. It sucks because I don't know if you know. I mean, I'm sure you know this, Lance, but half the state that for a non-resident is like off limits for mule deer in Nebraska. So like you can go to the what do they call it, mule deer conservation area or whatever. You can go in there and shoot a whitetail, and like we never ventured in that far because when we went up there we were like, hey, we're gonna shoot a mule deer. Like we had our hearts kind of set on that, but then after realizing there ain't really a whole lot of mule deer, where the mule deer that's not in the conservation area, then it's kind of just like you got to kind of take your pick at that point. It's like, what do you want to do? Now there might be some good places outside of there, but I think the biggest one we seen was the one you and Gabe found the day before season started, right?
That was a whitetail though.
Yeah, but still.
But yeah, that was no. The two biggest ones we saw were the ones that you and Jesse had the video of them running
Oh
away.
yeah, that
And
was on
those
private
were,
though.
but those were 150 mule deer.
Yeah, those are big.
Those were huge. The biggest mule deer that I saw was probably 90. You saw it. It's in that video of him running across the top of the ridge. He's probably about 90, but he was a full velvet mule deer. Like he might as well have been 300 inches when I saw him. I was like, I have to kill that deer.
Yeah,
It didn't. Yeah, but I tried. Didn't work out.
Mm.
I think Nebraska is a very tough state to kill a mule deer unless you're hunting the conservation area. There's a reason that the conservation area exists because that's the best mule deer habitat in the state. So if you can get a tag in that, I think you'd be pretty well suited. But I think it's pretty tough outside of that area because just the numbers.
We've talked, and you've hunted Nebraska twice for mule deer, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
So
I've actually hunted it 3 times.
Okay. So what would you recommend for like the new guy going in? I mean, because obviously Nebraska has to offer a cheap over-the-counter tag. But would you recommend that, or would you recommend like somewhere like New Mexico, or maybe you have to put in for?
Well, yeah, I would recommend. I'm not saying that because like I have a secret honey hole in Nebraska or anything either. Trust me, if I did, you'd see a dead deer, and you haven't. I would probably recommend somewhere else in the West. Like, I think there's a decent chance of killing a good whitetail, but like similar to that landowner that we talked to in Nebraska when we stopped him on the side of the road, and it's like, what's the kind of mule deer to whitetail ratio? And he was like, oh, there's a lot more whitetail, but there's very few mule deer.
And we've seen that. Like, I think I've seen probably 4 or 5 mule deer doe.
Yeah,
during that trip.
I remember when I made that post on Facebook looking for some like access, and the game warden called me, and he was like, yeah, the numbers are really struggling. I think they had brainworm was something that was going around out there. They've reduced I'll tell you this, you can make your decision off this. It used to be over the counter. Then it used to be 3,000 permits, and now it's 1,400 permits. So the opportunity continues to dwindle down, and the success isn't going up at all. So it's because the numbers are so down. That's why they're doing that. So take that as you will. There's some there.
I mean, it's an either or tag, right? So you can shoot a whitetail or a mule deer. So it's like a cheap. It was fun. Like, I had a great time. Like, I wouldn't do it any other way, just because. I mean, but at least I had my shot opportunity. Didn't you get within like 90 of a buck as well? But a doe blew out in front of you?
Yeah, of a mule deer buck. Yeah. Yeah. But
so it's like, it's doable, but it almost feels kind of dirty just a little bit whenever you drive. Like, for me, it was like 7, maybe 8 hours, and you get there and you're like, okay, any 100-inch, 90-inch buck is getting shot at. It's like, it's not like, I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad, but it's just like, why do that then?
I genuinely think there's other opportunities. It also feels bad when you're like, okay, there's not a lot of these. Do I want to like come out here and slay the last mule deer buck on this property?
Well, I guess I didn't mean mule deer. I meant whitetail, because that's what we had. At least that's what I had my shot opportunity at, and that's, all my opportunities were whitetail. I don't think I got one opportunity at a mule deer buck, and so with that, it's like I can go shoot a 100-inch whitetail or 90-inch whitetail. But if it was now mule deer buck, that's a little different. I'd probably take a 90-inch or a 100-incher, just from a non-resident's perspective.
Yeah, if you're it's all opportunity cost. Like, if you have one hunt to go on this year for mule deer, I would probably consider putting in other places, because you can always buy that Nebraska tag. As soon as they open, they're going to be over the counter probably still this year. But if you're wanting to have a really good hunt and you only have 1 week, I would recommend going somewhere else out west. Now, if you're like in an Iowa guy and you can drive 3 hours and hunt them, yeah, like that's a different situation. But I probably wouldn't make it I don't think it's a top 5 like mule deer destination.
What about antelope?
It's cool for antelope. I don't think the numbers are crazy good, but there's an opportunity there. And I think you're hunting, and I don't think this is like unique to Nebraska, but anywhere I've hunted antelope, it's like, it feels like you're chasing the same ones around. Like you'll bump them and then you go and you basically just get on the same group again and try to hunt them. So I didn't see like hundreds of antelope, but I did see a good amount, while I was there. So
was there a bigger number than at Boise or no?
No. I think it was less than that.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It's hard to compare. Boise was a long time ago. It's kind of like I kind of forget, but I remember being in Boise and like I remember seeing a lot. That one herd that we saw in the truck that day, one day was
the one that had like
well, yeah, wasn't there several hundred in that one herd?
Yeah, it had to be.
Easily. Yeah. So I don't know.
Let's get through a couple of these. Clancy Campbell, any interest in switching to strictly trad gear for whitetail? Been doing it for 3 seasons now. Harvested my buck with the longbow this year. Don't think I'll ever switch back. Fellow Okie. Well, hello, fellow Okie. What's your thoughts on that? On switching to a trad bow?
Well, when he said for whitetail, yeah, that's not like that's something I would consider. I don't think I'm right there yet in my journey as a bow hunter. I don't think I've killed enough big ones to be satisfied with trad gear yet. I've killed one recurve buck and it was super fun. I actually had a Colton Hinkleman. I had him on the podcast this last weekend and he hunts strictly trad. And I think he shot 2 really good bucks this year with trad. And he said he literally physically had to sell his compound to go to trad.
Really?
Because he was like, the temptation is too strong. Like you have one bad hunt and you're like, give me that thing. Or like one runs away from you and you're like, give me that thing. So
that would be my worst fear is like, okay, I'm gonna take my trad bow out, because the way I would do it is I'd start easy, baby steps, maybe only take it out on private, maybe try to swack a doe, just start there. But I know as soon as I take it out on my first public sit, or heck, even just to go swack a doe, the biggest buck I ever see in my whole life is going to step out and it's going to be at 30 yards. And at that point, it might as well be at, 150. And it's like, if that happens, it would turn into campfire wood. It's exactly what it would turn into.
They don't call it the struggle stick for no reason. I feel like the strictly trad is for 2 people, like people that have like big cojones and old people. You're one of the 2, because like the old person is so satisfied with their journey and they've probably had a ton of good experiences and they don't care anymore. It's like, what's another deer? I just want to shoot it the way I want to. And then the people that have big cojones, it's like they're committed to it. And I don't think I could fully commit to it right at this moment. Even after shooting a buck with it, would I go and hunt with it for a weekend or a few weekends? Or yeah, I think I would. I think one thing I'd be even more interested in would be like, and Colton's kind of got me thinking about this, would be going and like either napping my own arrowhead or finding an arrowhead in like a dig site, building an arrow and like killing one with like an arrowhead that I found out of a trad bow. Like, I think that would be super cool.
It would be more sentimental other than just like the technique he is.
Right. Yeah. Or building a trad bow. Like if I knew someone that could like help me build one and I built it and then I built arrows and then I napped my own broadhead and killed a deer, like that would be extremely satisfying. But just strictly for the purpose of trad, like it doesn't interest me at this current moment.
Yeah.
But I could see definitely getting there. Also, I'm 27. So I haven't done it.
Oh no,
27 for a few more days. I'm 27. I haven't killed enough big deer to be satisfied with my compound. It's already super hard with a compound. I've struggled to do it.
Yeah. So. Haven't mastered it with the easier weapon.
Clancy, that's awesome though. I respect that a lot. I think that's cool.
Did you say you killed one with the trad bow last season?
Longbow, yeah.
Longbow. Oh, longbow. Nice. So what would you use? Would you use a recurve or a longbow?
I think recurves are like definitely way more performant, but I think if you're gonna go like full trad, why not get a longbow?
See,
like after going to Black Widow and seeing their takedown longbow, could you imagine being able to put your weapon in your pocket on the way through the airport? Like, wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be sick.
Because Colton, he watched our Black Widow episode and he said, "Yeah, I always wanted to get a Black Widow, but I watched how they were made in that episode, and he said I ordered one off because you guys put that video."
Really? See, damn it, we needed a code with them. Damn it.
Well, and he also said he's going on a Kodiak Sitka Island blacktail hunt, Kodiak Island blacktail hunt, and December, and he said that he's bringing his recurve. Is that not man status? That's straight man.
That's a no
status.
for me, dog.
Dude, that's man status. I love that crap. That's awesome.
We're bringing a rifle just as a insurance policy if we, get.
I think they
on
are
the number
they
of
are
days.
too, but still, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy. Which I found out on the podcast you did with Landon that I didn't know how big blacktail usually get. Like, I'm going to Google more into them the closer it gets, but like as of right now, I'm just trying to shut my brain off from any type of hunting.
Yeah.
But is that how big they get? Only like 90, 100 inches at best, or no?
That's a monster. Yeah.
Is it?
It's like that whole subspecies of side. Like it's whitetail and muley are big, and then coos, Sitka, Columbia, they're all smaller. If you shot like 110-inch coos or 120-inch coos, it's like a Boone and Crockett.
That's wild.
So coos get bigger, but like Sitka blacktail, Columbia blacktail, I think Sitka might be the smallest.
I don't know. I got a few European mounts up here that might be, part coos deer. Possibly.
You've already got your Sitka blacktail.
You already got it, baby.
Good work, man.
Thanks. Hard work.
Knock that off the slam. There's a couple on Instagram I want to read out. Bucko 450 said, I came in late. I just heard you say, talking about cameras, I wish Exodus worked out. Yeah, I agree with you, man. There's some good folks, but I'm sure every single one of them is going to find their footing because they're all good folks. And yeah, it is sad. I think they're going to find their way either on another product or heck, especially the content side. They're really, really good at
their media stuff's good.
They're gonna kill it no matter what they do. Lance Brown said, yeah, their regs are kind of confusing. I'm about to lose service. I appreciate your input. Yeah, thanks, brother. Sorry to be pessimistic about Nebraska mule deer, but I am.
Yeah. Do we want to read Zach's comment right here about a certain plant?
Yeah, we can. I got one more though.
Okay.
Bucko 450 said, I hunted trad last season and carried my compound bow with me just in case. There you go. That's literally a definition of an insurance policy.
Yeah.
By the way, the only reason I said that about
his insurance policy is his compound.
Yeah,
brother, that's what do they call that? That's liability. Okay, I'm looking.
That's not even full coverage.
Yeah, I'm looking for that full coverage. You know what I mean?
that pew that full coverage.
Yeah, buddy. What were you about to say?
I don't know. I was talking about Zach. I was gonna say about what you said about the place he mentioned. That place has almost 30,000 applicants already.
So it doesn't matter.
This podcast is not going to hurt.
Nice. Zach says, I'm putting in for that ammo plant in Oklahoma, and when I draw, I guess I'll have to learn the trad bow. That's exactly my plans too, Zach. But the only reason I asked that is because we got some people around these parts that it's like, if we mentioned anything, they're like, oh, those guys, they ruin. I don't think they know how the internet works. You got to be big to ruin a place. And like, we don't say any names. So those guys that say that in our community can go kick rocks.
That's putting it lightly. That's why I picked up the recurve last year too, Zach, was because I drew that tag and I immediately went and borrowed a recurve from my buddy Jordan Schaffler. And he told me, he said, which is funny because I don't think he thought it was going to happen. And to be fair, neither did I. He said, if you shoot a Pope and Young with this, you can keep it. And I shot a 126 and 7/8.
Yeah. So that's almost like, you ain't going to do it. I'll give you $200 if you do this. And it's like, you end up doing that quadruple backflip. And it's like, okay, well, pay up, buddy.
I got a free bow out of the thing. Jared Griffith said, do you guys duck hunt? One time this year. And that was with you, Jared. And then I think Jake went one time this year with you as well.
I didn't hunt. I tried to point the camera at a blurry sky, but that's about it. All I know is I went with this Jared Griffith guy, and him and Peyton probably went 1 for 12 on ducks. So it was a good hunt as a cameraman.
Nice.
Yeah.
Clancy said, Zach, I have been. It's a blast. Kind of what really got me into shooting trad. Heck yeah. It is a really good hunt. Yeah, that hunt interests me a lot, but seems not many people have luck. Yeah, I think it's less than a 5% success rate is what they said. which is hilarious because if you come back to camp at night, everyone's like, I shot at a 190. Everybody is like, some people will say, oh, I shot at a booner. And then you're like, well, why are you packing up your truck? They're like, I can't do it, man. I can't be looking at him and not kill him. I got to leave. I'm like, that would make me want to keep going. Like, I'd be fine. Do you know how many arrows I brought when I went?
How many?
I brought my quiver, which had 5. And then I brought one of those, like, not a PVC, but just a plastic tube. And I had like 9 more arrows with broadheads in them. And I stuck them in my bag. Nice. I had like 13 arrows. I wasn't going to have to come out for another round of arrows. And I didn't have to.
That must feel really freeing. I think we already talked about this, but just going in with the trad bow, I know there you can't have any camera equipment or anything like that. So you're just the bare minimum going in. So that must be nice.
Dude, it's awesome. You got your saddle and you're like, cool, I got this stick. Pretty awesome. Getting close is 90% of it. Not everyone realizes how tough trad is. I would anyone that doesn't think it's tough, I would tell them to put down their compound or their crossbow.
Is that what I need to do when we draw out for that hunt? Because we got a pretty good shot of drawing out this year. Like, I think Jay Ayers has like 7 points. I think I got 5, or we'll have 5 this year, and then you're going to have 2. So, but you're going to have 2 because you're going to have for this year's as well.
But you don't get it unless you don't draw.
That makes sense. So I'm gonna
have 1,
4 or 5. I forget how many I'm gonna have. It doesn't matter. But is it kind of like the same ordeal? Now I know everybody wants to be like that idea when it comes to that stuff, but me in golf, if I can just hit it straight and it somehow lands or rolls or thumps on the green, I call that a success. So is that what I need to kind of do for trad bow, where you just aim in the vicinity and you got a place you want it to hit, but you just let Jesus take the wheel? Is that kind of how it is, or no?
I haven't shot enough. I've shot 2 deer with a trad bow, and I can tell you, with a compound, when you start kind of doing a little bit of the duck scenario, like, okay, it's at this range. I would maybe the deer's head, he's looking at me. I'm going to aim maybe just a little lower. I kind of psyched myself out with the trad because I'm like, okay, I could shoot at his knee, and if he ducks, I'm going to hit him perfect. But if I shoot him perfect and he ducks, I'm going to completely miss. But I also don't know where. I don't know how to completely aim. So it's just like you put it where you think, and dude, it's a mind.
It's
nice. A mind. But yeah, it is fun. I enjoy it. Zach says, okay, so I'm gonna need a trad bow from someone if I draw. Zach, I'll offer you the same deal that Jordan offered me. I got a trad bow you can use, and if you shoot a Pope and Young, you can keep it. I'm gonna buy a $60 trad bow and give it to Zach.
one for a kid.
Little youth bow.
Jared Griffiths. I shot once and 12 fell. You mean something like that?
That's double your limit. Good stuff, though.
Get him, sick him.
That's funny. Peyton messaged Clayton yet the other day.
Oh, good.
He messaged him and he said, Clayton literally he texted me about it, but Peyton said he had went duck hunting and he said, hey, duck season ended a week ago, man. You might want to take them pictures off. And Clayton texted me. He goes, is duck season really over? And I said, no, dude, he's messing with you. Yes. He said, is it really over? And I was like, no, dude, he's going to keep doing that forever. Like anything you post, he's going to say that. Which is awesome. Funny. I got one over here on Instagram. Bucko450 said, I just did blacktail on Kodiak in November. It's pretty wild. I filmed everything and lost my camera that Christian recommended on the 3rd day.
Who was this?
Bucko. I can barely see his profile picture. This is a guy who I recommended a camera to, and he lost it on the 3rd day. That sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for laughing at you. I lost my GoPro in Nebraska after getting some sweet spotting scope footage, and it actually had the spotting scope mount for my for my spotter and my GoPro together, and I lost that too. So I lost like $300, $400.
Nice.
That's nice. So I feel you. Okay, here's a good one. Go ahead.
Hold on. Was that one dude actually? Was he at least successful? Did he at least get one? That's kind of
that's a good question. Bucko, did you get a blacktail?
Because if not, that's just kind of just like insult to injury. Because not only did you not get one on a probably, I would imagine, pretty pricey hunt. You also lost which camera was it that they recommended?
I don't know, because I recommend something different every time. I got like 5, and I just flip a coin.
Yeah, Polaroid's pretty good.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm sure it might have been a camcorder. If it was budget friendly, it's probably a Canon Vixia, if I had to guess.
Did we read this one, Zach? Is it harder that you can't find the deer or the getting close enough to shoot?
I don't think it's definitely not finding the deer. Like, you can find the deer just like you would with your compound. It's just you got a lot of deer cruising at 30 and 40 yards, and when you have no sights on your bow and you're no let off and you're drawing back trying to shoot looking down the arrow, it just looks like you're shooting at something that's the size of like a hair on a fly. It gets really tough. So I think it's just getting close enough to shoot. And then, in whitetail range, when one comes in at 15 yards, and let's just say you get into draw, but you kind of spook them, they usually trot out to 25 or 30 and stop. When they do that with trad, they're 10 yards out of my range. So that's kind of the scenario that I'm talking about.
Hold on, I gotta skip a few. This comment just came in. It's by Benjamin S. Please don't go trad. Successful hunts are more fun to watch, brother. We can't even be successful with the stuff we're shooting now. So, I got a pretty good kick out of that one.
Oh, God, that's funny. Phil said first, Bucko saying he said learning experience. Just mad that. Oh shoot, hold on, my Instagram's looking small. Just mad that I lost my son's and mine pronghorn hunt. Oh, I guess that was on his Canon Vixia. He said, yes, I got a little one.
Oh,
cool.
Nice.
That's awesome. I don't know what a little one is, because if it has horns, that's a good Kodiak Sitka blacktail. That's awesome. Yeah, he said a Canon 4K was what I recommended. Well, I'm sorry you lost that. I felt somewhat responsible. I hope you get another one.
And lose that one too. Just kidding.
Getting close, the deer are everywhere. Okay, yeah, there you go. Define everywhere. I think I want to hunt with you, Clancy.
Yeah.
You take me. Here's another one. Secondhand Archery said, what cameras do we recommend? If you're spending less than $600, probably like a Canon Vixia, which is a camcorder style. I actually had this question on a YouTube video today. A person said, what did you shoot this video with? And I told them the camera, and those cameras that we use are like $2,500 just for the body. And he said, that's not what I want to hear. What can I get for $600? And I told him, and he said, is this better than my phone? And I said, probably not. And he said, okay, I'll keep using my phone. That's what he said in the comments. So,
I mean, you can probably make a pretty good video just from your phone, because, with the DJI mics, you can plug them into your phone, and you get good audio. And not my phone. My phone's still like an iPhone 9 or 10, so that camera sucks. But heck, our first cameras, I think you had a camera that took tape, and then mine was a $900 bundle. I think it's like a Nikon D5200.
That's what's crazy is your iPhone 7 is better than that camera.
Mm-hmm.
It's a $900 camera. That makes me sick for the people in the 80s that bought those $80,000 cameras, and they probably shot 480p. That really sucks.
Could you imagine spending that much cash? That's a house back then.
Well, you just don't work hard enough. You need more jobs.
Yeah, I know.
you need 2 or 3 more jobs.
Not now. Not, I got 4 years to buy a house, baby.
There you go. Here's another one. Secondhand archery, compound hunting ain't real hunting. Got to drop out of a tree and use a knife. Okay. Well, spear hunting is not exactly legal.
Okay. Well, now we're into this debate. Okay, like, how long's your blade? 9-10 inches? Like, what brand are you using? Are you gay?
Dual-sided, single bevel,
handled one, or like, what's up?
The debate. Oh, there goes your camera.
Dad, burn it.
Is it hot?
Probably.
Ew. Ew. It's
720.
It's a laptop camera. It's disgusting. He said my blade is average. There you go. That's funny. I did look up I did look up if spear hunting is legal in Oklahoma, and it's not. But I wonder if that's something that's going to come. That'd be kind of cool. I want to talk about hard. I just put a corn pile at the base of my tree, and just let the spear out of my hand. Phil said, "I use a trad to finish them off after you hit them with a truck." I don't know if that'd be any easier because they'd be crawling away. Clancy said, "At that plant, they're everywhere." Yeah, I get what you mean. There are a lot of deer at the plant. He said my blade is average. The big blade's hurt. Okay. I got one on Instagram. Original Gamester 01 said crossbow hunting isn't bow hunting. Changed my mind. He joined, and that was the first thing he said in 5 seconds.
You say crossbow hunting isn't bow hunting?
Changed my mind. Yeah, changed his mind. Steven Crowder style. What do you got?
I can't.
What do you agree with him? What if you agree with it? Play devil's advocate.
It has a string. You shoot an arrow. It's actually called a bolt. Use the same broadhead. You can use expandable fixed blade. I'm a horrible devil's advocate. But I don't have a problem with it. I just think it needs to have its own season. You know, it's like, okay, how come you can't use a rifle during muzzleloader season? How come? One's probably a little bit more proficient than the other, right? One has a slight disadvantage. Okay, but they're both rifles. They're still both guns. They shoot projectiles.
Would you be okay with a trad season that goes earlier than regular bow season?
I mean, yeah, probably. I'd be shooting trad at that point then.
If they said September 15th, if you use trad, I'd be like, sweet.
Yeah, I'd do it.
I'm trad hunting.
But like, I mean, I understand it, and I think probably needs to go back to the way it was, where it's like, all right, if you're disabled or too old to pull back 45 pounds or whatever the legal limit is, it's like, yeah, sure, go crossbow hunting, no questions asked, right? But for people that's 65 pounds above weight and can't walk to their car and back without being out of breath, and it's like, oh, I want to go deer hunting. Or even kids. Granted, I don't have kids yet, but I have nephews, and it's like, do I like? Yeah, it'd be cool to go see them, during archery season, go get their first buck with the crossbow. But at the same time, it's like, give that dude something to strive for, right? Like, oh, I can't pull back this bow yet. Get stronger. You know what I mean? That's just my mentality on it. I don't know.
He said own season. Thank you. Spot on. Yeah. I don't think you're ever going to separate crossbows from bow hunting because there's too many lobbyists and people they make too much money off of them. I also think that you have a dependency on them now. Like people don't want to, they want to be able to hunt the whole season without having to practice with a compound bow. And, in previously Biden's America, I understand why you may not have a lot of time to practice, but that's what guns are for. So I agree with you on the own season thing, but I'm not as jaded towards it as I used to be.
No, I mean,
I really don't care.
It isn't really hurting that much, because at the same time, if it's almost, I don't know what to really compare it to, but I feel like if they're that weak-minded to use that, then they're probably not going to hunt that many days as well. Or if it gets too cold or any type of inconvenience, they're probably not going to be out there anyways.
Well, the worst is a crossbow hunter who's dedicated. Then they have both advantages.
Well, that's called a successful one. So,
Bucko said you can't shoot your trad bow off of a tripod.
Yeah,
yeah, that is true. There you go. It doesn't have a stop.
I don't think that's being too harsh, though.
There's much more harsh positions, dude. Like, I don't care. I don't think you're a POS or a terrible person if you use a crossbow. I'd prefer if you used a compound. If you're my neighbor, I might say something backhanded to a friend about you, but that's about it. I'm being honest. Like, if a dude with a crossbow shot my target buck, I'd be like, of course, this makes sense. Like,
I shot at that buck once too, and I missed. So congratulations, dude.
With my able-bodied bow. Yeah. Yep. But I really don't care. Okay.
Go ahead. Oh, you want me to take this one? Zach says, I recall seeing a post of the deer that are still alive out there. I think anyone will want to put it on that draw, to put in on that draw. Yeah, they let out their hit listers for the year, and dude, they got some giants. I haven't seen the one I don't think I've seen the one last year, but obviously it's too early to see the one.
There were several
this upcoming, but
yeah.
So how does that work? Does that just? I wonder if they're all kind of grouped in this like a similar spot. You know what I mean? Because like if one's big enough to make it that, you know what I mean? And like how are they getting these pictures? Are they trail camera pictures? Because some of the ones I've seen, it's like they're
driving
just
around
out. Yeah, they're just out in the middle. So I'm kind of wondering if they're like a few of them are in a similar location.
Maybe a few of them, but they're just the success rate is so low. There's a reason that the age class is that good in there. It's just because the success rate is so low. Like that's why they get to that age. It's such a big landscape. There's so many deer. The habitat is some of the best deer hunting habitat I've ever seen. It really is. Good. Well, one, it's never been burned. So the cover, you might think that's a bad thing, but the cover is so thick, briars, just nasty stuff like you're ripping through just to get anywhere. And it has some of the most productive oaks that I've ever seen. Big white oaks, tons of red oaks, and like big red oaks. So you got maturity, low success rate, and tons of cover. So they get big and old. And there's a lot of big ones. Like the amount of deadheads they find out there because people just stuck them and didn't find them. And they just find megas. I walked into a back room there one time and there was like probably 30 deadheads that were just megas, all of them.
All like over 170?
Not all over 170, but like 140 plus, several 170s, like just giants. You'll see when you experience it one day. It'll make you sick. Yeah. Here's a good one. What do y'all think about Oklahoma proposing to go to $1 state?
Oh, $1 state. I used to be for it. Used to be? Yeah. I mean, I think it can be beneficial both ways. I kind of like the system that's on it now because it gives us the opportunity to kill more bucks, obviously in Oklahoma. But I like it just from, I don't know. I just like shooting deer, and I don't want, it sounds bad, and I hope people don't take this the wrong way. I want to shoot a good one, and then I like shooting one and then being able to hold out. You know what I mean? Like get that trigger finger out of the way, which that might be why most people want.
Everyone's like, boo,
$1, but you get what I mean, because it's like there's that, and also it's like, okay, I can hunt here around my house, and then if I have a buddy in Southwest Oklahoma or wherever that it's like, hey, you want to come down? We can go hunt some public or whatever. It's like you still have that option to go and hunt with those guys too, and like still have a good experience where everybody's after a deer, and go through the trials and hardships of hunting with more people. So it's like if I have a good one on private at my house, like I am going to want to be there every single week or every single opportunity that is good for me to hunt there. I want to hunt there. And so like I feel like that's just kind of taken away from different opportunities. Mm-hmm. I see the pool for the $1, but at the same time it's like, I don't know. That's just where I'm going to leave it. What do you think?
So you want to have fun and have standards, which you can do both with $2.
I think so. Yeah. And you can be a little bit more on the lenient side, which I understand. That's why the people on the other side say that.
I would be okay with it, but I know I don't represent a majority of people. Like I'd be okay with it just from a pure trophy potential standard. And I know they say like Zach's comment here, which is Dallas says that 5% of hunters actually shoot their $2. Yes, I agree with that. And that's probably true, but there's also a lot of people that shoot a buck that they wouldn't normally shoot. And they go, like you said, what you said is a prime reason that I don't like $2, which is you take a gamble on one and then you hold out. Well, people wouldn't be gambling if there was $1, and those younger age class would probably be making it, but it's at the end of the day, it's deer hunting. It's not that serious. Like it's not like gonna upset me either way. If it was $3, yeah, but $2, it is what it is. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's still good opportunity regardless. I think the state would be better if it was $1. I just genuinely feel
I
that.
do too. And plus, I think what it would help if we switch to $1 as well is like there's right and wrong things to do. A lot of people do the wrong things, and I think it's pretty common practice. I'm not saying we do it, but I'm just saying we know stories of people. And if you look hard enough, there's people that shoot a buck or shoot their two, or maybe don't shoot one, and then all the other ones they shoot, my dad has a tag, my mom has a tag, my grandma has a tag, and they'll tag their family members, or the deer that they shot under a family member's name. And with a $1, instead of him having 6 eligible tags with, his mom, his dad, and his grandma, he now only has 3. It's still poaching, still wrong, but it kind of limits that in a way. So
it limits it from a social pressure side where it's like, if you shoot a buck, you better not show anyone unless that's what you want your $1 to be. Because a lot of people will shoot a buck. They're like, I shot that one. And then if they shoot another one that size, they're like, who cares? I won't share anything until I get another good one. And it's just like, it's a social pressure thing of like, if you shoot a buck and people know about it, you better not shoot another one, because people like to hunt on a sliding scale, I'll just keep upgrading. It's like, well, you only get 2, you don't get 6, but at the end of the day, no regulation is probably going to change people that are going to break the law.
Right. But just if you had to pick what would be best for both the residents and the herd, I would think the $1 would probably benefit, because right now the only thing that's holding me from, if I would have had to vote one way or the other, would just be from, doing it right, but your experience with it, right? Like just as I said, like if I have a good buck on private, I don't want to just solely hunt here, but at the same time, it's like very rare that we shoot 2 bucks off of the same piece of property, because it's normally like, okay, I have one at my house, and it's like we jump around to quite a few pieces of public, and it's like, what am I trying to say here? More times than not, it's not off the same exact piece, at least for me, where it's like,
for you, yeah,
I'm not really hurting like that area or that property with bucks. So,
but there is a lot of people that do. There's a lot of people that have 40 acres and they shoot $5. Like not that one person, but like a family. This guy shoots 2. The next guy shoots 2. Oh, my cousin, there's another good buck in here. That guy shoots 2. He doesn't know he's surveying a section of land with his 50 acres, and he just killed the $5, 5 decent bucks on the section.
I mean, I understand. Like I know a person, or I'm sorry, the family that they killed 4 or 5, I think $5 off of 35 acres. And it's like, that's cool. They're all good, mature bucks, like ones that I would shoot. But at the same time, I had 7 shooters. And then now all of a sudden, 5 out of the 7 are dead for the upcoming year. And it's like, sick. This helps a lot. And this is just between me and him at this point, like that I'm surveying this off of. This isn't to people to the northwest, the northeast, or the south. So it's like, awesome.
Okay, so here's another, I won't beat this horse too dead, but this is interesting. So Zach brought up what Dallas had said, which Dallas Barber's the big game biologist for the state of Oklahoma. Super cool dude. He's been on the podcast. Nice as could be. He's a pretty good hunter too, from what I've seen.
He didn't like the topic of the $2 though.
No, he doesn't. Well, I think it's because social media keyboard warriors go at him. But look at it from this perspective. If 5% of hunters actually shoot their $2, why not go to 1?
That's
nobody.
That's true. That's
what
true.
I mean? Like,
that's mathematics.
By the way, this is coming from someone who has shot $2 every year for the last 3 or 4 years. Like I would have been okay shooting 1. It might have changed my standards a little bit, right? I don't think having high standards is a bad thing, but I totally understand, especially like in Northeast Oklahoma when it's super segmented like that. You may, whether it's $1 or $2, you may not be hunting a good buck all year round. So what does it change really? Except forcing people to have standards in some sense. And you don't have to. I don't care if you shoot a forky, but
but that is true. Like that's a very good point. If only 5% of hunters, then it wouldn't hurt. It would affect.
So it's hurting no one.
People. It would affect 5% of people is who it would affect.
But then you have the same. Then you have the same argument of like those 5% aren't doing a lot of damage, and I'm like, yeah, I get it from both sides. Who cares? But it is cool. I mean, Oklahoma used to be a $3 state. So to
Mhm.
see it come to $2, the only thing that I don't like is I don't think it should be $2 for out of staters. Sorry, Zach. I don't think it should be. I
No,
don't
you
think it
got to
should be.
protect the residents. That's something Kansas does really good, and it seems like from what we're learning across the species, it's like they protect their own. And like I'm not, saying Zach's a threat, even though he killed a freaking tank in Oklahoma this year. A little jealous of that, but
Is a threat.
I think that's something Oklahoma needs to kind of be on board with. It's kind of like Nebraska. Like as non-residents, we spent 10 minutes bashing Nebraska about how we would go hunt anywhere else, but it's like, what are they doing? As a non-resident, it's like, it kind of sucks. But as a resident, it's like, hey, we got all of this,
Conservation area.
conservation area to hunt because we're residents. All the cream of the crop is saved for the residents, and then you got to put in for those units
Exactly.
or area as a non-resident. And it's like, can you really do that in Oklahoma? Not really, because it's a little bit more diverse than Nebraska. But at the same time, it's like you could help us out at least that with quantity wise. Then,
Well, the argument is well, now they have to pay $700. True, but they still get probably the
Okay.
best access to the resource. They get to tell me if the state that has the quality of deer herd Oklahoma does that you can kill $2 in for $700.
So $700 for $2 for doe when I'm paying $550 for a buck and a doe in Kansas.
Right.
So
there you go.
argument invalid there.
I don't know. It's fun. Clancy said, I don't agree with it all. Maybe you should make you shoot a doe for your second tag and maybe $1 for out of staters if they want to do something. I agree. I think that's
I like that.
Yeah, that's good. And Zach said, just in the same vein, said it seems the bucks aren't the problem. It's the does, and how many of us don't shoot all of our doe tags. I definitely don't shoot all my doe tags. I try, but it's hard. A lot of the places that we hunt don't have enough does to kill 4 of them off of a place. 25 foot up though on Instagram said, here in West Virginia, we finally went from $3 to $2 this year. I'm glad they made that adjustment. I think that's a good adjustment. 3 is a lot.
Yeah.
Like, 3 is a lot.
Also, thank you 25 feet up for coming to once again another live. You and Zach are like the most consistent people. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Okay, here's sorry, right here. Cody Haas. So we messaging with Cody on Instagram, or sorry, not Instagram, Facebook Messenger about some goats. He says, as long as it's legal in the season, get after it. I'm an expo hunter and dedicated. Yeah, that's cool. I respect that.
That's why he's a killer.
That's why you have a really nice goat in your profile pictures, because you're dedicated. I do not have one of those in my picture. I wish I did. Clancy said they don't do the hit list anymore since like 4 years ago. Yeah. I think they actually posted some photos on Facebook this year. Colton said, this is who I had on the podcast. He said, can I have y'all's autograph? No, because it's not worth anything. I don't want to waste it. And then also, we were talking about you like 30 minutes ago, so rewind.
Also, my cursive, it's like a doctor. Like every time I go to the bank, I'm like, anybody could forge this mess because it's different every single time.
Yeah. Like, is that English? Clancy said, man, I like being part of the 5% though. Yeah, I do. I like the option. Another thing about this, and my uncle has told me this and recommended this to me, and I do sort of agree with it, is zoning. So you can shoot a buck, and Texas does this in a lot of places. You can shoot your buck, but you have to shoot another one either in a different county. Now, is that going to help? People are just going to shoot the buck and say it was in a different county, probably.
Right, but I think that's with anything though. That whatever rule you make, people's going to go around it, right? So, but I think that's a really good one because it's almost that's how turkey was in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or think about it as zones. You got a northeast, a southeast, a northwest, southwest, and it's like you can kill one deer and $1 in each zone for a total limit of $2.
That I could get behind.
That's my personal hunting style anyway, so it already works for me. So maybe it's like short-sighted to say, but I could get down with that. I really could. But what does that mean? I mean, that's just, it already benefits me. So here we go. Eric OP said Missouri. He said it's cheaper for Missouri for non-residents than anywhere. I think it is cheaper, but I don't know if it's $2. Is it for non-residents? I think it's $1.
I forget what Trent told me one time. I don't know, but I know it's like $225 or something like that. $250 maybe.
It is pretty low. I definitely want to hunt Missouri. Can't run cameras in Missouri though. It's always hard to get over in Scout.
I'm waiting on that for Oklahoma. Like Kansas that way, Missouri's that way. I think it's only a matter of time, or I think Oklahoma.
Oh, the cameras thing?
Yeah. At least for public, because people's going to do it on private, regardless if they outlaw it.
I don't know. I don't really care. I don't have an opinion on it because it hasn't like negative.
You don't care? I mean,
no. I mean, I would like to run them.
Yeah, it'd be disheartening if you couldn't run them, because it's like that kind of sucks.
But what I meant was I don't care if people run them. Like it doesn't bother me if people run them. So like,
are you saying your privacy isn't at stake when you're hunting public land?
Well, I usually walk through the woods with my belt around my ankles, so I don't really care.
I guarantee you, I bet you there's a picture out there on someone's computer of one of us taking a dump. Probably Carol, more than anybody. But
Carol's probably on the sex offenders list for doing that in front of somebody's trail camera. Yeah, that's funny. I have found trail cameras before, though, like a few feet from my like tree that I'm hunting. I'm like, dude, come on, and I've had that happen before. That's not fun, but I'm just like, cool. I'm just gonna still set up here. It's not gonna change anything. You silly? I'm still gonna send it. Here you go. Here's one for you.
Secondhand archery. Just wanted to remind everyone Donald J. Trump is your president. You dang right. You dang right, sir.
Full-blooded American.
America.
Here you go.
Why are you making me read, dude? You make me read all the novels. Zach said, I like $2 for the possibility of exploring different parts of the state. Yep. I like seeing I like that as well. Because I like hunting close to home. I don't really see myself for any reason getting too far away from Northeast Oklahoma, but Southeast is near and dear to my heart. So as long as I can kind of do both, that'd be cool too.
I want to sell land in Southeast really bad.
Why's that?
Because it's awesome. Like I think the ground. I think the ground is cool, and there's big tracks, which I think is awesome. So I think that's pretty cool, and I would like to do that. I actually, I have an interview on Thursday with a land company.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So see y'all soon. You all want to buy some land?
They call me the land man.
Uh-huh.
All right, you got this one.
Eric Opie said, no cams on public, but private all day. I don't know. Like, talking about prioritizing the residents, though, like no cameras on public land does prioritize the residents, because residents have the closest access to scouting and being able to know the land, where non-residents, they kind of struggle. It's hard to make a scouting mission up to a piece of public land, especially if a piece like multiple hours away from your house. So I don't know. I think Kansas did it, and to be honest, I have like a very skewed view of Kansas, because even when we did run cameras, I wasn't like extremely impressed. But we had better hunts than we did camera pulls. So I don't know. I'm trying to think if I would want them in Oklahoma if you could turn them on. I selfishly would still want them. Yeah. For myself. Maybe legal for me, not legal for anyone else. How about that?
That makes sense. I think that's called entitled.
Mm-hmm. I think it's called privilege.
Privileged. Yeah, understood. Zach's wanting to know if it's Whitetail Properties, or do you want to say?
I don't want to say, but I'll tell you, Zach. I'll tell you via Insta. They're probably gonna. I would say they're probably gonna watch this, but the likelihood would be no. So I'll text you. Maybe they'll be a sponsor of this podcast at some point. That would be awesome. What else we got?
You got any on Insta?
No, I got a bunch of people joining and unjoining over on Instagram. Well, we're kind of burning the. You got your dogs at your house? Somebody Amazon driver breaking in. Jake's addressing his wife, telling her he's on a live podcast right now, and he does not want to be disturbed.
Well, there's a truck alarm going off, and I was just making sure it wasn't one of mine.
That's okay. If somebody steals it, you probably know them.
Yeah.
Probably be a cousin or
That's
something.
true. What the heck, dude? My
Well,
camera's about to shut off.
there we go. We're an hour and 20 into this thing. I think we'll probably go a little bit longer. If you guys have a few more topics or questions that you guys want to talk about, make sure to drop them in the comments. But wrapping up hunting season here. It's been a long season. Feels like we're out of gas, but drop what you guys want to talk about, because we'll maybe talk about just a few more, and then we'll jump off of here while Jake works on his camera. You see that deer in the background dressed like Davy Crockett with a raccoon skull or raccoon on it? It's nice. Okay. Garrett said, you guys talk about the New Mexico sheep tag that just got sold and broke the record for sheep tags. I have not seen that one. See what it's for. So apparently, Garrett's telling me there was like a lottery tag that broke the record for the highest bid for a sheep tag. Garrett, what was it? Because I know Nebraska had one, and it was like 450 grand somebody paid for it. So I'm curious what somebody paid for this one.
Oh, what was it? It isn't anything new, but I was thinking about messaging the guy. I think he's a doctor or something, and it stirred up a lot of stuff within the hunting community. Of a guy, this guy, he paid like $450,000 to hunt a black rhino. If you know anything about black rhinos, they're like on the endangered list.
Yeah,
but on these hunts, they just they let people shoot the very old males, so they have no really reproductive value to these populations anyways. And with $450,000, obviously they can help with the conservation efforts, whether that be probably mainly to do with the poaching stuff, because they'll just shoot the rhinos just for their horn or whatever the thing's called. And apparently it has no medicinal value whatsoever within it, but they put it in Chinese medicine as like a look at me, I'm rich, because it has this mineral in it. So it has no medicinal compounds, but it's used for that. And so the poaching is outrageous on rhinos because of the value of it. And but I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Like, is it okay to hunt and pay that money for a animal that's on the endangered species list?
I'm not the moral police, but
right. But that's why I said your opinion.
I feel like the value towards the research of $450,000 is more valuable than a male that has no breeding value. So I think that's kind of like a no-brainer. What's best case scenario? This thing's going to like live happily ever after and just never die. It's going to die. So its death can be for a purpose if it's for conservation and studying it.
Yeah. No, I agree, but I was trying to find his contact information to try to get him on, because I find that type of stuff like
it's very interesting.
Yeah, because it's like, what are people's thought processes through there? And also, what was your thought process to spend that amount of money on that? Like, and how do I be able to do that as well? So that's a conversation that I'm willing to have with that fella. But no, I just thought that was crazy how that was such a big ordeal. I forget when it happened, but it
was like a big. People were really upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we get upset, we have to ask ourselves, what's the alternative?
Yeah.
Like, okay, it was going to die. So I don't know. Garrett said that sheep tag sold for $1.3 million at the sheep show.
What kind of sheep is this?
If it was in New Mexico, is that going to be a desert bighorn? I think that's what it is. Sheep species in New Mexico.
Brother, I think you can create your own species of sheep with that amount of money.
1.3 million. You can probably just go in a lab and just build the biggest sheep that's ever existed. I think that's a desert bighorn.
You know what we need to do? We need to
Rocky
sell. Oh, Rocky Mountain bighorn. Nice. We
You
need to
sell
sell an exotic sheep tag that's like supposed to only be one in the world, and we'll start to bidding at like 2 million, and then when they go to this certain place to find it, they're not going to find it. I'm like, well, you
There's
just
one
suck.
in the world. They're really good at hiding.
Thanks for the 2 million, brother. We're going to try to help them grow. It's like they don't even exist.
Help fund me going hunting.
Yeah, you're going to help me finish the slam.
There we go. Secondhand Archery said, "Y'all got to get Braden Price on this, John." Yeah, I'd like to. That'd be awesome. If you're buddies with him, tell him to come on here. That'd be fun. I think that's all we got, my friend.
Well, that was
anything
fun.
Anything you want to leave the people with? Like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube.
I would say do that. That'd be cool.
Awesome.
We've been dropping some hunting films lately. Go check those out. Christian dropped the antelope in Nebraska. So yep. I know we talked about that earlier. If you want to go see it firsthand, you can go see Christian miss a handful of shots and then maybe miss or not miss a handful of shots when we go to New Mexico. Something cool happens there. But that one's out as well. I thought that one's probably one of the top ones we've ever put out.
The elk video?
Yeah, that was good.
At a minimum, from an effort standpoint, it was.
Yeah, well,
it was fun though. That was a really fun hunt.
It was a good time. Going back and like scrambling through all these videos and stuff, it kind of makes me not so much the whitetail, but like I kind of miss. I guess whitetail. I kind of miss being in Nebraska, and just like chasing them that different style because we were literally in a cattle pasture. It's like, oh, there's one right over there. Let's go try to make a move. And it's like that's cool. I'm ready to do that with pronghorn.
You know what we should have done in that hunt, and I've thought about it after watching your video. We should have picked a tree and hung saddles and hunted in that draw. That's what we should have done.
That would have been too smart.
No, I mean that's literally what we should have done. I think we would have killed deer if we'd have done that.
I mean, yeah, that draw wasn't too terribly big, and it's like there was deer in it.
There was.
You think we do that on down the line? Maybe obviously not next year, but like.
That is a good option, I think, for if you'd have a great year.
I wonder if that spot will be
huntable
again.
I don't know. Only time will tell.
Because that is kind of stupid that we really didn't even do that. Because like
it's pretty.
We hunt elsewhere, and it's like you have these big swaths of land, and it's like you can see a good distance, and these are the only couple 20 drainages that run through here. That's very smart. You shouldn't have said anything because now I'm a little upset.
Now you're thinking, what can we do different? I've got it. The simplest crap on the planet. Hang a stand. Hunt out of a tree.
Hunting whitetail. Hunt how you normally hunt whitetail.
Exactly.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, go check out the videos. We got like 3 new hunt videos out in the last couple of weeks and got a few more coming. So yeah, we just appreciate you guys. Wherever you're watching, make sure to follow. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, and we will be doing one of these probably here in a couple weeks. We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Jesus loves you.
Bye.